as a flying field for the spread of romantic repertoire in Russia. And opera as a genre started spreading among broader strata of Russian society, becoming almost as a popular, affordable performance as in the other European countries. And here, it is possible maybe to add the subsequent stage, because opera became in the Soviet Union a sort of mass performance. Particularly with reference to Verdi's production, a practice of adaptation developed, turning out to be suitable for mass audiences having no specific competencies in the field. And Kirillina was here when I came here in the previous edition of this conference, and actually she presented a paper about Verdi's reception and the sort of Reader's Digest that were published about his course, which spread among amateur musicians and opera lovers. Verdi's work was thus subject to a process similar to the one that was mentioned above, assimilation with the more general Italian tradition with the loss of stylistic specificity. The conscious banality of the lines attributed to Verdi's double in Sorokin's libretto reminds us that sometimes this assimilation took place under a negative sign. The gradual emergence of national requirements for music during the process of formation of Russian identity became the reason for frequent accusations against Italian opera, charged with frivolous characters, superficiality and vulgarity of subjects, monotony of the plots, and a penchant for vocal acrobatics, which success, nevertheless, hindered the development of national music in Russia. In The Children of Rosenthal, the authors are possibly playing on the complex relationship of love and hate established between Italian opera and Russia, notably the milieu of Russian music theatre, which ambivalent nature can be detected in the musical discourse as early as the late 18th century. Closer to the events that surrounded the premiere of The Children of Rosenthal, the incomplete process of elaborating a unified understanding of what exactly Russian art is, or should be, or art should be, has largely contributed to the scandal around Desyatnikov's opera, and possibly continues to exert its influence on the perception of this opera, preventing the duplication of stagings. Thank you.
Спасибо, очень интересно. Есть вопросы? Any questions? На любом языке.
So I would like just to add a comment that I didn't did before, but actually there are some similarities between, I think, my paper and Julia's one, because of course when we talk about reception we have to agree on the context, on which is the context. We were talking about the context in which Akutjava is more or less known and his music is more or less appreciated. And the same could be in this case. But I think Sorokin has in mind the popularity of Italian singers, особенно в советские времена, and sort of project it on the image of Verdi as a representative of Italian vocal music, at least.
But do you mean that the other four duplicates are less stylized?
No, I just took the particular case of Verdi because it's among my interests at the moment. But if you, the case of Tchaikovsky's double, for instance, also has, I don't know, I didn't look into the reception of Tchaikovsky, which is maybe more complex because it's inside the country, but it is, his double is characterized by his works and his characters too. So he is, at one level, he is Tatiana, although there is another Tatiana in the opera, but the image of the characters are shifted and are connected and switched inside some occasions. He sings in the register of tenor, so he is also a Lenski from Yevgeny Onegin, and but he is also Tatiana because there is a clear picture in the. I don't know whether I have it and whether we have the time, but there is a picture when he parodies the scene between Tatiana and the Nyanya, ach Nyanya, repeating this pattern a number of times, but sort of duplicating in a sense the pattern, but reaching a stage of parody of the scene, of the original scene. So also Tchaikovsky could say that Tatiana è Taïa, в принципе, если мы следим за принципом. I cannot choose the language. And it would be, of course, interesting to look into the others, the construction of the others' characters, but they are not so divided actually. The analysis is troubled by this, confused by this impossibility to analyze separately the characters, the single characters.
May I ask about the process of duplication and copying the styles of different composers? Do you think that Desyatnikov's scandal that he created was calculated? Was he intending to duplicate Verdi's reception of the actual world to such an extent that it would extend into his reception?
No, I think he had the will to reflect on the stage the approach of Sorokin. He saw in the libretto. He had also some consultants that gave advice in choosing they gave advice both to Desyatnikov and Sorokin. So they worked together. But the scandal, actually, as far as I know, was mainly connected to Blue Lard. But when it was clear that Bolshoi Theatre, so as a public institution, gave commission to such, let's say, vulgar, in the point of view of this commentator's author, the scandal was actually came later as a reaction, or actually not to the music, but to other extra musical elements, factors.
Есть еще вопросы?
Time for lunch?